Well, there are two new top teams on USA Today's NFL Power Rankings. The Packers took the top spot from the Cardinals, and the Cowboys moved all the way up to number 2 after previously being ranked at 6. So, Shannon, who are your top 5 teams in the NFL right now?
Skip, I can understand the Packers, but I didn't put the Packers at number 1. I put the Tennessee Titans. They got 5 straight wins over teams that made the playoffs last year. I got them at 1. I put the Packers at 2. I put the Cards at 3. I put the Cowboys at 4. I put the Bills at 5. I put the Bucks at 6.
6?
Yeah. Right now, Skip, I can't put the Cowboys ahead of the Packers and the Cards because I believe Kyler and D-Hop will come back, and they're a very good team. I think they underestimated Carolina because you saw the demolition job that they did just a week earlier, Skip, minus those same 2 guys. They went to San Francisco and did to the 49ers what the Niners did to the Rams.
True.
So I believe once Kyler gets back and D-Hop, and I think that's coming sooner than later, they are a top team. And the Bucks, Skip, the Bucks, the defense is a problem for them. They can't get off the field on 3rd down. Now teams are starting to be able to run the football on them. They just lost Vita Vea. Long as they protect Brady, offensively, they're going to be able to put points on the board. I think the thing is now, but it puts more pressure on Brady knowing that we got to get a lead because if the game's close and we don't have a lead and we give the ball back to the opposing team, Skip, they just run the ball. Trevor Siemian did it the week before. They go on the bye, and now Taylor Heineke did it the exact same week. When have you ever seen Tom Brady lose back-to-back game to guys like Siemian and Heineke? If you're going to say Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, okay, I can see that. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, okay, I'll give you that. But not those 2 guys. So that's where I went, Skip. I went Titans because of their 5 straight wins over playoff teams from last year. The Packers have the Packers going to Arizona with a Kyler Murray team without his top 3 receivers and winning. Very impressive. Cards, Cowboys, Bills, Bucks. I do think Cowboys are a top 5 team. But I might have put them in the top 3 had they not suffered that debilitating loss to the Denver Broncos.
Okay, where are your Chiefs?
Chiefs not in the top, not my top 6 right now.
You're leaning toward picking the Chiefs over the Cowboys.
I sure am.
And that doesn't actually
Don't worry, right now, don't worry about this. We got till Friday. And I want you to have that. You see how the energy? You see how you poke it? See, right now, with Skip, what we used to call it, see, they call it bullying now. But when I was growing up, we called it picking. You see how you pick it at me?
Yeah.
You pick it, right? Where are your Chiefs? Ain't nobody talked about no Chiefs. I gave you my list. I didn't mention the Chiefs, but you picking. You keep needling me. But I got something for you on Monday. I want you to have that same energy. You see what you're doing right now? I want you to pick at me on Monday. I got something for you.
Sometimes I use that term with Ernestine. Just quit picking at me. Don't pick at me. I'm busy. Don't pick at me. She's heard that way too many times, but I've heard it too.
Exactly.
Okay, Mr. Sharp. My issues with your number 1 overall team in the National Football League this deep into the season is this team no longer has Derrick Henry, at least for the foreseeable future, and no Julio Jones, who's gone to IR.
For at least 3 weeks.
This team is still stuck with Ryan Tannehill, quarterback. So you just picked Ryan Tannehill's team as the best team in the National Football League this deep into the season.
Yeah, Skip. But have you seen their defense?
It's pretty good.
That Simmons, Jeffrey Simmons, and Landry.
Yep. Byard is legit. Okay.
Now, Bud Dupree did get hurt.
Yep.
But Skip, they're playing defense. Mike Vrabel, he got something on his hands right now with that defense.
Okay, I continue to wait because I've never been a big Ryan Tannehill fan back to his days playing a receiver at Texas A&M, but he is 8th overall in QBR, so I got to give it up to him. He's played better than I thought. But I just wait. I just broke my chin waiting for him to come apart at the worst possible moment because he's got that haywire gene in him somewhere. I'm going to remind you, the team that you just said is the best team in the National Football League lost at the Jets 27-24. That's an inconceivably bad loss.
Yeah, but Skip, they didn't have Julio, they didn't have A.J. Brown.
All right, but if you're that team that you just said is the best this deep into the season, you can't lose at the Jets.
Well, your team lost to the Broncos.
Okay.
You can't lose to the Broncos.
I didn't say my team was the best team, though.
Who
We're talking about yours.
Who you got as the best?
Well, I first got to discount your team. Disqualify your teams.
Okay.
Then you said second on your list is the Green Bay Packers.
Packers.
Aaron Rodgers. is averaging yards passing per game 243. It's not all that great.
Right.
That ranks 14th in the National Football League. At 248, 5 yards ahead of him, is one Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you say, is washed up and done.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's actually...
He on his last legs. I mean, he...
Last legs.
Yeah, he hitchhiking
so does that
right
mean
now.
Aaron Rodgers should be on his last legs?
Don't do that, Skip.
I don't know. Pro Football Focus, your favorite website in grading quarterbacks, grades Aaron so far this season 16th overall. And that's your second best team. I'm just not sure he's having that year that you think that he's having.
Yeah,
and by the way, I've constantly made the case for the other Aaron being at least as valuable as the quarterback Aaron. And we're talking about Aaron Jones, who has sprained his knee. God bless him. I'm knocking on wood. Met him at the Super Bowl a couple of years back. He's a great young man from El Paso, Texas, longtime Cowboy fan, and now Cowboy killer. And he's gone for whatever it's going to be.
You said all that. He ain't having a season. He's 16th in this, and he's 16th in that. And as we sit here and speak right now, they're the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Well, Tennessee's the number 1 in the AFC.
And so now you just, how you
so
discount
Shannon
that?
Sharp goes chalk.
No,
he just looks at the seeds. He says, I think I'll put Tennessee number 1 and the Packers number 1.
Actually, I didn't even know Tennessee was number 1. But I did know they had won. Skip, whose resume is theirs? 5 straight wins over playoff teams from a year ago? Now, hold on. So how good is Washington? The Bucs just lost to them. You lost to the Broncos. Remember, we just talked about every team has a debilitating loss when you look at like, what the hell were you thinking today? Every team, even the Bills lost to the Jags.
They did.
I mean, so the Bucs lost back.
Okay, but I'd rather lose to the Broncos than I would to the Jags or especially the Jets. That's just me.
And what about Washington football team?
Okay, what about it?
The team on
the team that you picked to win the NFC East.
Whoa.
Okay, well, that's what you told me. And you said, boy, that front seven on paper, I'm not sure there's a better one in all of football. Maybe they finally rose and shone. They finally lived up to your preseason billing.
Okay, here's this. This the paper that the Washington football team, that defense, that front seven. This is what I did. This the paper. It needs to be torn up. Here,
that's
there
it?
You go.
On paper, they don't work anymore?
Yeah, that's what I did to that paper.
Pretty good.
For the Washington football. Stop it. They're not.
Well, Tyler Heineke was really good, just as he was really good against the Bucs in a playoff game in which he threw for 306 yards and ran for another 50 yards.
Outplayed your guy then.
Yeah.
Twice. He played head-to-head and outplayed him twice.
Okay, but my guy doesn't get to play defense. He's just got the number of the Bucs defense.
Whoa.
He's done it twice in a row. I don't know how. Sometimes it's just horses for courses, and he just knows this defense and just has the extreme, supreme confidence that he will convert third downs like crazy. He's almost 50% on third down against the Bucs in a playoff game and then a big home game. Big home upset, right?
Yeah.
And if Tom Brady gets the ball back at any point in the fourth quarter, they're going to win the game because he's on fire in the second half. 12 out of 14 for 116 and 2 touchdowns, and he had the ball for 10 minutes in the second half out of 30.
Think about it. You ain't talking about how the Bucs gave him the ball right back. They went down there and scored, and then guess what? He gave the ball right, but they gave him the ball right back because Levante David punched the ball out. So don't pretend like the Bucs didn't take the ball away from the Washington football team and hand it to Tom Brady after he had handed it to them twice.
In the first half, he didn't hand it to him twice. It was once. Jalen Darden, the rookie from North Texas, handed it to him the other time. That was a fumble, obviously. Which brings me to the Buccaneers that you have now ranked 6th because you will not learn your lesson.
Skip.
You continue to bet against the GOAT. And the GOAT's got this because the GOAT knows that it's a really long season because it's longer than ever. They're playing 17 games this year.
But Skip, we're talking about right now.
Okay, but who was 7-5 last year and then took off?
Okay, but Skip, this doesn't mean that the Titans and the Packers are going to play for the Super Bowls. We're talking about week 11. So, Skip, I remember 3 weeks ago the price of gas wasn't $5.69 a gallon. Okay. But what is it today? We're talking about today. We're not talking about where it's going to be February 13th with the Super Bowl or in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks from now. We're talking about today as we sit here.
I just want to make the point in the case. If and when they get Gronk back and AB back, and I'm not sure about either one of them, but if they get them back and if they get back Carlton Davis and Murphy Bunchers, And if Scotty Miller comes back, which I think he will, all of a sudden you're going to be in big trouble, because I think even the defense, they're aging, they're older players, Shaq and obviously JPP and Levante David, they're pacing themselves. They're saying we can't just let it all hang out right now. We got to wait until it's time to take off.
But here's the thing, Skip. Okay, let's just say they get Gronk and they get AB and they get some of these guys back. Can we reassess the situation then?
Okay.
Can we just look at it right now?
Which brings me to my Dallas Cowboys. If we're talking about just what my eyes tell me right here, right now, I just saw my team play its best game of the year, dismantling the Atlanta Falcons, who had just gone to New Orleans and beaten the team at the Superdome that had just beaten Tom Brady. 27-25. Matt Ryan threw a Mardi Gras party on that defense that is really good. And he came in hot-handed to Jerry World. And what happened? What were they? 1 of 11 on third down happened. That's what happened. 3 interceptions happened.
You want to give the Falcons credit for beating New Orleans, and Tennessee just beat New Orleans.
Okay.
That same defense.
All right.
That same defense.